Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Rest. In this video, I want to go over some legendaries that I saw in the review build of the game. I did not have access to these, but legendaries spawn like crazy in vending machines in this game. So I actually did screenshot a lot of stuff and just kind of want to talk about what they might do and stuff that you want to look out for. But really quick, if you guys didn't know, 93% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed to me. So if you guys do enjoy and find yourself coming back to the channel, consider subscribing and dropping a like. It really helps me out and our community grow by getting these videos out there for everyone to see. I truly appreciate it. So let's just jump right into this. So we have the magic mood ring of the lingering dread. That is a mouthful. I'm pretty sure it's just magic mood ring. A lot of these legendaries do just have of the lingering dread. I actually did get a bunch of legendaries in the game, which I'm going to be posting YouTube shorts about. They're not going to be full guides because we don't know where every specific drop location is yet, but I will be posting full guides as well. But I hope you guys like the short content. If you do, be sure to let me know. But this ring right here, it says wards are meant to be broken. So it has a specific trait of while ward is not full, effects are increased by 100%. So if you can have some form of shield that has 0 capacity, obviously the stats on here are just going to be increased by 100%. So instead of 15% spell damage, you would have 30% spell damage, and then actual duration and spell radius would be 20%. So this could be pretty good, for specific builds where you don't have shields. I don't really know what that would be because we don't know everything in the game yet. But our next legendary I saw was the Effacious Bone Face's Soul of the Virtuoso. I probably pronounced that so wrong, but it says, of course, there's always my way. This was a corrosive Feedior or TDO weapon. It does look very cool if you take a look at it. I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but it's just throwing weapons home and on enemies and explodes on impact. So it's just the normal Feedior, but I don't know what the legendary effect is going to be. It does have enchanted on it, but any gun can have that on it. But getting into the next one, we have a armor piece or class mod. So Battle Master's Deathless Mantle of the Sprinting Vandal. These names are crazy, but this one says not today, and it's made for the Clawbringer and Stabomancer. So you're going to reserve all but 1 health, returning 150% as ward capacity. Then ward regeneration delay is reduced by 50%. So this is going to be kind of like Moe's or the artifact, the Deathless artifact for Borderlands 3. You can reserve all that health. You're going to have a huge shield. Since this is for the Clawbringer and Stabomancer, I would imagine there's going to be some pretty interesting things you can do with them in their skill trees. I'm not exactly sure the skills that they have, what they do as of recording this right now, but this is going to be pretty cool. I can see some crazy things coming out with this. If it worked really well with your other ring that we have, where you had the increased effects, if you had like no shield, maybe there is a armor piece that does allow you to have no shield. And yeah, but this is really cool. I could see some crazy builds coming out with this if there is some gear revolving around that. But then we have Spirit Rune Defiant. So my secret lonely world begins. So this is gonna make it while standing still, you get 20% increased lightning damage and ward regeneration delay. And your ward regeneration delay is reduced to 0 seconds. So basically, standing still, you get more lightning damage, which is going to be really good paired with specifically the Spellborn build that I put a video out on. But what's really cool is that these rune shields it has an inscribe trait. So unique rune abilities are shared across all players with a rune ward. So there are a bunch of shields in the game that are kind of like this. So if you have a shield that has a different effect and somebody else is wearing the shield, if every player you're playing with has it equipped, you're going to get all the benefits. So that's pretty cool, actually. Now, the next one we have Undyne Frenzied Wrath. This is a amulet or a necklace, whatever you want to call it. This has fire damage and Greyborn power. And it says, arc erratically and blindly lash out at everything around us. 20% dark magic efficiency. And when the Fate Makers or a companion kills an enemy, companion damage is increased by 20% for 15 seconds. And it's going to stack up to 5 times. So with this equipped, you're going to always be getting kills. So you pretty much have 100% increased companion damage at all times, which is honestly really crazy. You could really do some cool things with this, especially with a companion build. Next one I saw was the Practice White Rider of the Eagle. This is a Dahlia weapon. Putrefy, Rot, Spoil, and Fester. So this probably is going to only be corrosive. Looks very cool. It seems to have like the little spell barrel on it, so it probably shoots out like a laser or something like that. Not sure exactly what it's going to do, but it does say Rot, Spoil, and Fester, so it probably has a damage over time thing, which probably does a good amount of damage. As you see, it does say 350 damage a second, which is pretty insane, being that the weapon only does 159. But yeah, you could be be some pretty cool stuff with this. Next up, we have a sniper called the Gloomy Carouser. So if you're not getting around, you're standing still. We don't exactly know what the legendary effect this is, but it does have the target take 8% increased melee damage for each crossbow stuck in the target. The bullets last 10 seconds, so this is going to have the crossbow attachment on it, but I'm not exactly sure what the legendary effect might be. It does say if you're not getting around, you're standing still, so maybe moving gives you benefits. Or maybe standing still also gives you benefits. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Then we have a melee weapon, Voltaic Twin Soul of the Assassin. A hero desires a sword, and a sword desires truth. So we have Echo. Melee attacks deal 10% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fate Maker over the last 10 seconds as bonus damage, and resets the bonus. So this is kind of like the Guardian rank skill in Borderlands 3. Whatever damage you do, 10% of all that's going to be in your next melee hit. Very, very strong, actually. This could be really good. But then you also have Warrior. So melee attacks increase your damage reduction and melee damage dealt by 8% for 10 seconds. So you could do some interesting stuff with that. The Warrior is just like a perk that comes on swords. Echoes the actual legendary effect. I'm not 80% sure. I could be wrong. You can flame me in the comments if I am. Again, this is just the review build, but we have Skillful Finger Ward of the Final Stanza. So I named your Warded of the Sorth. So while ward is full, our effects are increased by 100%. So if you remember, the other one was while it's empty, increased by 100%. So this one's while it's full, it's going to increase it. This is giving you ability damage and spell critical hit chance and SMG magazine size. So I can imagine 100% increase of that. You could be doing some crazy stuff with that if you can keep your shield up at all times. Maybe with that other armor or class mod thing where you have a huge shield, you could do some crazy stuff, or even that rune ward that you had where you had 0-second delay. If you were standing still, you could keep this at max, and you can kind of synergize it with that. But the next legendary I saw was Wild Mage's Pandemesium of the Lumberjack. I know I'm butchering some of these pronunciations. I'm very, very sorry, but rid this pestilence from within. So this is a spell shot and berserker combo. Very cool. But whenever a poison status effect deals damage over time, there's a 15% chance for that enemy to explode for 550 poison damage. So this one's actually interesting because I can go in and tell you, like, the spell shot nor the berserker really has poison stuff on their class, so I'm not exactly sure where they're going with this one. Maybe if you have like the spell shot skill where you cast a spell, their spell does, you know, whatever damage a spell did, so you can cast a corrosive or poison spell, and now your weapons are applying poison status effects to make them explode. I'm not exactly sure, and it is a 15% chance for him to explode, so it's not even like a huge chance. I don't feel like this class mode is going to be too good, but I could be wrong. This could secretly be one of the best things in the game, and we just don't know quite yet. But, you know, like, just from the little amount that I've played, like, I don't know if this would be too good. But next up, we have the Burgeoning Saw Blades. This is a spell, but watch your fingers. So this is a repeating cast. I mean, let's be honest, we can probably tell this is just going to shoot saw blades out, the spell, which is pretty cool. You could probably just hold it down and you're going to just shoot saw blades everywhere, and they do a pretty good amount of damage. But that's pretty much for that spell. But then we have Leech's Corrupted Plate Melt of the Hellhound. Greyborn is spell shot. So this is going to convert 30% of your Fate Maker's damage dealt, so that's like every damage, to dark magic damage. Dark magic efficiency is also going to increase by 30%. This class mod right here, or armor, is insanely strong. I didn't have it in the game, but I can go in and tell you, like, this is going to be a go-to for a spell shot Greyborn combo. Spellborn specifically is what I'm calling it. It's one of the first things I made. Being able to convert that all your spell damage, 30% of it, on top of what a Graveborn skill is already doing by 20%. So 50% of your spell is going to be doing dark magic damage, on top of the 70% just doing the normal damage, because the skill just adds 20%. It doesn't like just convert it. So you're going to be doing a ton of damage with this ward. Plus the skills you get are pretty good. I don't know. I think this is going to be one of the craziest class mods in the game. In dark magic, going to make you very, very tanky as well. So I could see some crazy stuff coming out of this. I'm very excited to get a god roll one of this. And it says there always must be a Leech King, which is very fitting for the playstyle that they are going for with this. Now we also have Practice Twin Soul of the Assassin. This is a sword that has a hero's desires a sword and a sword desires truth. So Archmage, melee attacks store 5% of your spell cooldown. This is pretty good. If you can run up, just start mailing enemies everywhere. You get 5% of your spell cooldown. If you already have a spell like cooldown built with like the spell shot, you don't need it too much. But if you are playing like a melee character and you already have a huge amount of melee damage increases, and you don't really need the melee weapon to specifically do a lot of damage, you could get your spell back faster. I feel like this could be pretty good. It seems kind of niche, but I don't know, like somebody might come up with some crazy thing to do something with it. But it also has caustic, melee attacks increase your status effect chance and status effect damage by 30% for 10 seconds. Again, caustic, I'm pretty sure it's just a melee trait that can roll on melee weapons, but Archmage is the actual legendary effect. Now we have another ring. So while currently equipped gun is low on ammo, effects are increased by 50%. This is a skillful shell casting ring of the blast artist. Sorry, I forgot to say that long name. Basically, your gun's below 50% ammo. If there's ever something you could do in the game, like you don't ever have to shoot your weapon, maybe specifically something like a spell shot where your spell's doing a lot of damage, you could just never shoot the weapon, specifically get it low on ammo. And then all the increases are going to be increased by 50%. This one is not 100% because this one's obviously way easier to proc, whereas the ward one is way harder to obviously have max ward all the time, or you know, no ward at all. That's going to reward a little bit more, you know, percentage. But I think this could be pretty cool if you don't use weapons, maybe even a melee weapon. If you play melee builds, like just shoot ammo at your weapon, you get all these other bonuses, and you can get whatever bonuses you want on here, specifically going to whatever your build is. Now, next one we have Jolting Last Gap. So once more unto the breach. This is a shield that says 25% fire rate, 20% reload speed, and you regenerate ammo while this ward is depleted. So obviously this is going to pair really well with that ward depletion ring. You need to find a way to keep the ward down, because you see this does have regeneration rate, which you don't want, but and it can absorb bullets. You're going to be able to do some cool things to this. If you can get the shield down, keep it down, you're going to get more reload speed, fire rate, and regenerate ammo. If there is ever a, you know, class mod or maybe even an amulet, I don't know, something that makes your ward go to 0, could be really cool. You could actually pair this with something like the spell shot, where their ward never regenerates. It only regenerates if you cast a spell. So that, I mean, if you don't have that skill, when you cast spells now, you just won't regenerate shield. You'll be at 0 shield all the time. But the problem is, if you play spell shot, you probably don't even care about fire rate or reload speed too much. Maybe reload speed to get spell weaving stacks. But ammo regeneration could be good if you have like a rocket or something. I'm not exactly sure. This does seem interesting, and I would keep an eye out for this. I think it could be some cool interactions. But then we have Desperate Fuel Battery, and you're a sky of blue. So this is while your ward is full, taking damage strikes nearby enemies with a lightning bolt. So this is kind of like a spike shield, but instead they're getting hit by a lightning bolt, which is pretty cool. So whenever you just take damage, I would assume from a weapon, a melee, anything like that, whatever that's hitting you, you're actually going to basically call down a lightning bolt on an enemy. But the other things are, if it is specifically for this, it could be interesting. So when the shield officially breaks, it actually is going to release a lightning damage nova, which is cool. And then also when you shoot your shield, it drains 25% of your ward, and you get 40% weapon damage. I don't know if those are specific. I think they are probably just shield traits, but they do kind of play along with the legendary effect, which is cool. But that's that shield. I don't really see this being too useful, but there might be some crazy stuff with it depending on the damage it does. Then we have Inflammation of the Marked. It's not the heat, it's the low flesh melting point. So again, repeated cast, hold to cast repeatedly. If I had to guess, maybe it's like a flamethrower, since you do hold it and it's just like inflammation and it's fire damage, and it's talk about low flesh melting. So I imagine this just might be a flamethrower, which would be pretty cool. And that is all the legendaries. Apparently I zoomed in really a lot right there, but that is all legendaries that I saw in the vending machines. So really cool stuff. There's some really interesting things. Obviously there's some just like kind of things, and I'm very excited to see all the armor class mod things. Like this one is kind of okay, maybe you can do some interesting things with it, but something like this one is going to be crazy strong with the dark magic efficiency. I'm very excited to see all the legendaries, and this is just a taste. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. If you guys did make it this far into the video just looking at screenshots, be sure to drop a comment. Just say I made it with like a smiley face or something. I think that would be pretty funny, because this was a pretty long video talking literally about stuff that we don't even know about all the way. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.